Hey BoLS fans, Adam Harry back again with another quick BoLS unboxing. Well, it's not going to be that quick because we have the game Star Wars Rebellion. This is an epic conflict between the Galactic Empire and the Rebel Alliance. It's a giant board game. It's pretty cool. It's from FFG, obviously. We've been covering this one for a while now. I'm pretty pumped to get it. We got a little early copy here, so we're going to open it up and take a look at the contents. Just show you the box real quick. That is the actual physical box. Pretty pumped. It's got the plastic wrap on it, so let's go ahead and dive in and take that plastic wrap off and look at the inside of this game. Oh man, okay, I just want to call this out real quick. This box weighs a lot. It's pretty heavy. So back of the box real fast. You've got example pieces here, everything that's in the box. It's a ton of components. Like I said, it feels pretty heavy. It's got a lot of stuff in there. Here we go. Come on now. It's got the kind of textured finish as well. It's the high gloss stuff or matte finish that FFG has for most of their box set games. Pretty cool stuff. So that is the inside of the box. We've got our little FFG catalog, always handy. We've got the learn to play rules. These are going to be very important. I have not actually learned to play, but I do know a little bit about it from the coverage that FFG had for all the teaser stuff. So there's the round summary, combat summary. Those are very important. We've got rules reference. Again, it's similar to the learn to play, but this is more of the like what the icons mean and stuff like that. It's kind of like your index of everything. So any rule in the game is probably in this booklet. So got that. We've got this baggie shows the Galactic Empire team game stuff, Rebel Alliance. So it's just the different stuff. We'll open that up in a second too. All right, we've got some tiles here. Looks like 2 sets. These are punch outs. We've got all of the different heroes and villains from Star Wars. So check that out. We've got Boba Fett. We've got Suntra Fel, Darth Vader, Admiral Ozzel. Hey dude, what's up? Mon Mothma. We've got Han Solo, Princess Leia, Luke. This is Jedi Luke, so there's probably a non-Jedi version. Regular Luke, right next to him. Obi-Wan, Admiral Akbar, and Wedge. You got a ton of heroes and villains, like I said, all the different punch-outs and everything. So very cool stuff. We'll probably open up that too. We've got the actual board, it looks like, in some plastic, and I'll open that up in here in a second. Inside the box, you can see we've got a couple of different decks. So I don't know what's in here, but these are probably strategy cards, I believe, or something like that, and then a bunch of other stuff too. Oh man. We've got tokens, we've got tokens and miniatures. So there's Star Destroyers. It looks like halves of the Death Star, so maybe we put those together. We've got Rebel stuff all over the place. Looks like an ion cannon. That's sweet. Planetary defense stuff. Okay, there's a half-built Death Star. That's pretty cool for all the miniatures and stuff. And then, of course, little bases for everything. Those are probably for the heroes and stuff, the heroes and villains that you put a slot of bases in. And then the special dice for Star Wars. So let me go ahead and break open the rest of the stuff. That's everything else in the box. I'm going to open everything up, lay it all out, and we'll take a closer look at every piece individually. Holy moly, there's a lot of stuff in this box. I was not kidding about that. I've got the main components laid out here. I've got some accessories laid out here. I didn't have room to put the boards on here because there's actually 2 boards that go together. We'll get into that in a minute. The miniatures over here, there's a pile of stuff. You can definitely see just the disparity between the military might of the Empire and the military forces of the Rebels. I'll get in on all that. Let me go through the components real quick because there's quite a lot of stuff here. So we've got the leaders, 25 leaders with plastic stands. That's what those are up there. We've got the different decks. We've got objective decks. There's 15 objective cards total, 1, 2, and 3. We've got 69 mission cards, which are what these cards, I believe, look like. These are the Rebel mission cards, and these are the Imperial mission cards. They have 2 different decks for each. We've got probe cards, which have planets on them. You can kind of see here what a probe card looks like. It's got the planet name and then a faction and stuff like that. Those are the different probe cards and what they look like. Tactics cards, that's what these 2 smaller decks are for. So we've got the Imperial Tactics cards here. For instance, Defensive Formation is one of the cards that showed up. Block 1 damage during a fight. The Rebel version, same thing. Looks different though. Then we have the action cards down here. Imperial Rebel, these are different things that you can play in responses to things. For instance, local rumors. This is an Imperial one. Places leader in any system that contains an Imperial unit. The rebel player must not state whether the rebel base is in this region. So you have that. And then this one's a special one. Noble sacrifice, you know, Obi-Wan. We use this when a leader becomes captured. He is eliminated and you gain 1 reputation. So that's kind of a cool thing you can do. There's all the dice here. There's custom dice, the red and blacks. And I believe these have 2 different things here. Stat-wise, they may be slightly different. There's 2 blanks right there. I think they're one's ground combat, one's space combat. I could be completely wrong on that, but there's 2 sets. No, they actually are the same dice, now that I look at them. Yep. So these are, I'm thinking of something else. You roll different sets based on ground combat and whatever the stats are. So there's 2 blanks, and then there's 4 other spaces you see there. So force power, and those have different effects in game, which we won't get into here exactly, but I do want to show off some of these miniatures, which are pretty incredible just because there's so many of them. I'll start with the Space Forces here for the Empire. We've got the little ties, which you can see very similar to another FFG game, Armada, but with no stands. We've got the Gazanti Cruisers, which are from X-Wing, and Armada, actually, where you could park TIE fighters on there, kind of a transport ship. We've got the Imperial Star Destroyer, which this is actually a 2-piece model that snaps off and pops right back together really easily, so for quick storage. We've got the giant Super Star Destroyer, and you can tell the detail on these is pretty cool. A little, basically a city on top there. Very cool stuff there. And then probably one of the coolest things, we've got 2 sets. There's actually 3 different Death Stars that you can have. So somehow the Empire can have 2 Death Stars that are fully operational, and one that's partially fully operational but partially constructed. So these are pretty cool. These actually, just real quick too, they kind of pop open and they just go right together. There's no glue or modeling supplies required. This one is a little tricky because it's actually a weird kind of ball thing that goes in here, and it kind of, yeah, you got it. So that's the space stuff for the Imperial. Let's look at the ground forces real quick. We have these really cool AT-ATs, pretty sweet. We have the Chicken Walker AT-STs here. You get a handful of each of these for Imperial ground forces, pretty sweet. You get a ton of Stormtroopers. That's what these models look like. Very cool. For the amount of models they are, there's a little bit of flash on them, but that's to be expected. These are just board game pieces. If you wanted to paint this stuff, more power to you. I wouldn't. I'm too lazy to do all that. That's a lot of work. But that's all the Imperial forces. You get a ton of that stuff. You can kind of see here. You get 2 of these Super Star Destroyers. You get a handful of the regular Star Destroyers. 3 of the Death Stars. One's that's under construction there. A bunch of Gazanti Cruisers. A bunch of ties. It's just overwhelming firepower for the Imperials. On the Rebel side, for their ships, you have the big Mon Calamari Cruisers, which are pretty sweet looking. And you get 3 of those. You get some CR-90 transport ships, which pretty cool. You get 4 of those. We've got the Corellian Corvettes. Very cool. I like that these are basically scaled down versions of the larger miniatures, detail-wise too. They take a lot from that. Here we have the X-Wing and the Y-Wing, which is pretty sweet. You can see here. They because of the scale, they don't have a lot of detail for some of these spaceships. The Y-Wings, the underbelly is kind of flat. But you got to remember too, these are designed to go on a board and stay on the board, not be looked at from the bottom side. So it's understandable. Ground force wise, this is pretty sweet. I really like this combo here. You've got the shield generators, which are pretty cool, and then the planetary ion cannon, which is pretty sweet. That you see in the Battle of Hoth, which is pretty cool. And then the super goofy Rebel Troopers, man. I never understood this design with the crazy helmet thing, but everything else was cool. Didn't get the helmet, but they have blasters and stuff, and those are the ground forces too. And then we have the speeders, snow speeder looking things. Pretty cool. Again, the underside's kind of flat. Caught it. Underside's kind of flat, but that's because they're designed to be on the board as playing pieces. So, yeah, ton of stuff. Man, what else to show off? Oh, let's go take a look at these cards. These are the big kind of player pool cards for team games and solo play. There's two different sides, obviously. So you've got that going on as well. And again, the Galactic Empire, same deal, team game. So you can play, I believe this game is 2 to 4 players. So, but yeah, let me go ahead and pack this stuff up, the accessories, and we'll take a look at the board, and we'll go through the rule books too. There's just a lot of stuff. I can't show it all out at once, so we're going to pause right there, and we'll come right back. Okay, I was not expecting the board to be this big. There are 2 board sections. You can see the first one here, not double-sided, but this is the first board section, and it's huge. Yeah. You've got the Rebel base here, you got the different objectives here, all the different planetary systems and everything like that. The round track and stuff like that over here, probe deck, special projects and stuff going on. But you can see all the craziness, all the different planets, lots of really cool detail and art on these. They each have different resources and stuff to collect. But you can see some classic ones. We've got Yavin right here, Mon Calamari here, Dantooine over here, Ilium, Alderaan right here, which probably gets blown up at some point. But yeah, it's really cool. Mandalore, which Mandalorians, that's where they're from. And then on the other side here is the second side of the board. Maybe this is the first side, whatever. But you can check out, there's different places to lay out your cards and stuff like that. Endor, Coruscant's right here. Probably can't see that because it's the bottom, but that's how big this thing is. I've got the camera all the way zoomed out, and it's just, the board is designed for, again, multiple players. It's a big game. As you can see there, so tons of stuff. I was not expecting it to be this big, otherwise I would put the rule books on here and we go over those too, but I'm gonna actually cut again and we'll take a look at the rule books. But just the scale of this game, it's a galactic epic scale game, so big game for, you know, players to play in the Galactic Civil War going on. So again, it is an asymmetrical game, so that's why everything's spaced out. I mean, basically the Imperials are looking to destroy the Rebels are looking to garner supports before they get crushed, and it's just it's a ticking time bomb type of game. So there's lots of stuff going on over there on the end here. Just notice too, you've got Hoth, but you've got the Imperial build queue here, and then the Rebel build queue there. So yeah, that's how massive this board is. It's designed for a big galactic game. So let's go take a look at those rules real fast. All right, I just want to show this off, just the different rules and stuff like that. We've got the Learn to Play section right there, the rules reference. I just want to flip through the Learn to Play section really quickly, just to show off some of the stuff. We went through the component list already. The game setup and everything like this. This game is designed for 2 to 4 players. And you're looking at probably an afternoon, 3 to 4 hours of game time. So it's a bit of a commitment to play this game. It's not as serious as like Twilight Imperium as far as playtime. I've played a couple of marathon games of that with 8 players, and that takes like a day. I'm like literally from like 8 a.m. until midnight. So I've played those types of games before, but this is a good afternoon game. Maybe, you know, get lunch together, go play this game, and then probably get dinner when you're done. But it's a ton of stuff. It's got really clear setup instructions and everything like that. Again, what's going on is the Imperials are trying to crush the rebellion with their military might, but they have to find the rebellion because the rebellion is a lot smaller military-wise, and there's different missions and stuff going on. So, yeah. Choose your factions, gather all the components you saw there. There's a ton of stuff to go through. Place your starting leaders. You get to pick 4 leaders. They don't have to have a recruit icon. There's different rules for all that stuff. Objective decks, stuff like that, how that all works. But how to get everything set up, playing the game. The basic gameplay is, there's different phases, and it's pretty straightforward. There's the assignment phase, the command phase, and the refresh phase. During the assignment phase, players assign their leaders to missions. So you're giving the leaders to jobs to do. The command phase, players take turns resolving missions or placing leaders on the game board to move units and start combats. And then they get into the combats and all that fun stuff. Refresh phase, players resolve cleanup steps such as retrieving leaders, drawing mission cards, launching probe droids, recruiting new leaders, and building new units. So there's a lot of stuff going on. But it's broken down into different phases, so it's the flow of the game makes a lot of sense once you actually get into it. And then it clears up like how assignment phase works, how the command phase works, how does activating systems work, revealing missions, how does all that stuff work like that. They give you lots of examples. It's a very clear system. And then the refresh phase, how to cycle through everything, and all that fun stuff. Winning the game, the Imperial player immediately wins the game if the conquers the Rebels base system. Basically, if there is an Imperial unit in the system and there are no Rebel units, this is such a major setback to the rebellion that it ensures Imperial dominance. The Rebel player immediately wins the game if the reputation meter and time marker are in the same place of the time track. The Rebels garner enough sympathy and reputation within the galaxy to set the decline of the Empire into motion. The most common way for the Rebels to gain reputation is from objective cards. So the objective cards, how those work, Rebel player begins the game with one objective card and draws one more during each refresh phase. The Rebel player may play an objective card from his hand if has fulfilled the card's requirement at the specified time. He discards a card and gains the reputation shown in the top left corner of the card. He moves the reputation marker that number of spaces toward the time marker. Only one objective can be played during each combat and each refresh step. So, yeah, the Rebel player is trying to score those objectives. The Imperial player, of course, trying to crush them. And you can actually destroy systems. There's a destroyed system marker. There's a lot of additional rules. You can actually capture people's leaders and stuff like that, how different loyalty works, subjugation, different structures, combat. I mean, it's pretty simple. This is what I was talking about, the different colored dice. I believe it'll tell you what type of dice to roll, and then how many to roll and all that stuff. And combat's pretty simple. And then you can actually play the other cards to manipulate combat rolls and stuff like that. So pretty neat stuff. How to set up the first game. And then this is basically saying, if you read through this, you're ready to play, go ahead and jump in. And they have a quick reference for you right there. Gives you a little tips on the first game strategy too. There's a lot of options, so it can be very overwhelming. Yeah, but that's just the first game. If you want to play alternate stuff too, they have more stuff using the reference like this, the glossary, the action cards. Diplomacy is a part of this game. Like, you do have to garner support as a rebel, so how that all works. It's a special skill. So there's a lot of things going on in the system, man, in this game. It's not super complicated, but you will need to take some time to read through the rules and get a feel for what's actually going on in the game. So, but it's a lot of fun. I have seen it played. There's some stuff going on online. You can check it out. But I have seen it, and it's right up my alley. It's Star Wars. It's not Twilight Imperium. It's not that kind of craziness. But I love the fact that it is an asymmetrical game where the rebels are a much smaller force trying to overthrow the Empire in indirect ways, and the Empire is just this massive military and economic might, and they are coming to crush those rebels, under their domineering thumb. And it's just a really cool game. There's the different missions and objectives really keep it interesting, and the way the combat works with those the different cards you can play to help save ships or destroy targets and stuff like that, to prevent damage. It's just man, I'm pumped. You can also create some really cinematic moments from the movies with the different missions, rescuing heroes and stuff like that. I mean, you could probably play this game like the movies, how they unfolded, how Star Wars, New Hope through Return of the Jedi played out, because Luke actually becomes a Jedi. That's a big thing in the game. During playing the game, is one of the missions and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that can happen. It's really cool. So go check this one out. It's going to be in stores soon if it's not already by the time you watch this video. Star Wars Rebellion from Fantasy Flight Games. An awesome new board game. It's a big box game. Really cool product. I'm super pumped. I can't wait to give this one a shot. So from everything I saw, looks great. So it's right in my wheelhouse. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. I know it went a little bit longer than I prefer, but there's a ton of stuff to go through. So thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for watching. I'm Adam Harry from BoLS. Sign off. Have a good one.